Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan. It's unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
And now, here are your hosts.
All right, here we are. It's halfway through the week. It's Wednesday. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Rich.
Halfway through the week, and depending on who you're listening to, we might be halfway through all this, maybe, sorta. Depends who you fucking believe, what you read.
Oh, wait. Are we at the top of the roller coaster now?
Depends who you talk to. Allegedly in Michigan, we're getting there.
Depends on where you live, too.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're hearing, like,
I don't think we're at that point in Michigan.
Yeah, they're saying what, maybe another week or two on that in Michigan. Allegedly, California and Washington are starting to come down the backside of their hill. There's even allegedly hope in New York, even though they reported their biggest one-day spike in deaths today, like 731 deaths. Yikes on that. But I think we were saying before the show.
Well, a one-day spike in deaths doesn't necessarily mean much. It depends on what that does to your average.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many, if this drastically changed the perceived perception, the percentage chance of somebody dying from this, then that would be the news. But yeah, I don't know. That's the first sign of progress that you're going to see is the number of reported cases going down. But you can't. Somebody's got it already, and they're on the path to unfortunately dying from it. There's not a whole lot we can do to interrupt that process at this point. So the number of cases reported would precede a fall in the number of deaths. They just wouldn't happen at the same time.
Well, they're saying average 3-day admissions into the hospital and ICUs are down. Cuomo, he sounded hopeful today. He was even started saying that they might even have to thinking about putting a plan together for getting things moving again. And that's the fact that he's already talking like that. I mean, I guess maybe.
Well, is that like putting a plan together? I would assume that they would be working on that constantly.
He brought it up today that it might be time to start putting that plan together. Like, how do we restart all this?
Maybe talking publicly about that plan. Because just like when we were talking about how Trump was kind of waffling over, the shelter in place versus restarting the economy. And I said, I assume that there are people behind the scenes having this conversation the whole time about what to do about the economy. The mistake is presenting that to the public, right? You have to have a unified message. Which is it? Do I stay home or do I go out and spend money and try and stimulate the economy? So I think what Cuomo is saying is that it might be time to start shifting that message over.
I can't believe the schools in New York are still actually, they haven't been canceled for the year. Today, he just moved them today to the 29th.
What's the point?
The only thing I can think...
No school system in the U.S. is set up, was prepared to do remote education. They're all scrambling.
The only thing I can think of that he might come back to that is largest school system in the country. I don't know what...
What does that mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying, but there's a lot
you said it.
Well,
what does it mean?
They have the largest school system in the country, and it's probably they have to really think long and hard before they shut that thing down for the year.
Yeah,
a lot of kids depend on that. When you get into school lunches and all that other stuff, there's more than just going to school involved here.
Right, I see. Yeah, right. I mean, how are you gonna? You have to restart the economy and you don't have the schools open, so that means mom and dad have to go back to work and pay somebody to watch their kids, or they don't go back to work.
But again, I don't have kids, and I understand this has been a challenge for people. But you do 3 months every summer anyway.
It's an unexpected cost, though.
Yeah, but at this point, they're already out. As far as just why would you reopen them? They're already out. you're already coming up to the time of year where you were planning on it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Michigan
It's
is not the kid. My kids aren't going back to school, and I guess they said that my daughter's school specifically said that there's still assignments that she has and that she can turn in, but as far as her grade, it just whatever it was when she left, and that's it. So I'm like, well, really, what's the fucking point then? Unless there was something that she was actually interested in.
Wait, so it's still do this work, but your grade isn't changing?
Yeah. Yeah, they want you to,
I would tell
still
them to
be
fuck
educated,
off.
but officially, well, yeah, that's what we did. Like, get bent, if my daughter is going to learn, she's going to learn stuff that she wants to learn.
Yeah, if the grade's already the grade.
I'm not going to stick to your memorization schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is there are teachers out there who actually take the time to come up with interesting new lesson plans, approach them a different direction, try to get the kids to think, not just memorize, binge and purge out onto a test and move on with life. And it just, it sucks, man, to think about that. I mean, I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, but if you're a senior,
It absolutely sucks.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Here's your fucking diploma. There you go. I mean, but honestly, what did you miss? You missed the last semester of school before you graduate. That's your fuck off semester, right? If you've done everything right.
Right, but it's also prom and just, I don't know, whatever the fuck else, like senior skip days and
graduation's a big deal for a lot of people. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just
graduation, I think, is assumed to be covered under that. Yeah.
I for personally me, I was like, just send me the fucking diploma, and I got to go to work. So sorry.
One could argue this prepares them more for life than anything else. You did what you were supposed to do, and nobody gave a shit. Welcome to the rest of your life.
Kind of, or maybe put some shit in perspective. Oh shit. The whole world isn't going to revolve around me. When I was in high school and mom and dad said, "You're so special." Yeah, to them.
More like, hey, you finished high school just like everybody else. Here you go. Congratulations. Tomorrow, you're still going to wake up tomorrow and nothing's changed. I think that's a cynical view, but I'm with you guys. It shits on the best part. Like, you work your whole school career to get to this semester. This is the semester where everything by this semester is pretty much done. You can fuck off pretty much these 12 weeks, and the coronavirus just shat all over it. So I get it.
Right, and it's not that you're mad that you can't go to school. It's that you're home, and so is everyone else.
Yes.
There's nothing special about your situation anymore.
Hey, Earl gave us some perspective last night. We can at least still leave. If we run out of food, we can leave. We can put on our mask and go get it. Earl will be slide tackled by a policeman if he leaves his house.
Wait, what?
Well, if they catch him out.
Yeah. No, yeah. Earl said there's legal ramifications. He cannot leave his house.
Okay.
He is legally quarantined.
He's actually quarantined.
See, that's
The rest of us aren't. We've all been tossing around the term quarantine, but none of us are actually quarantined because we're not symptomatic.
But yeah, I find that interesting. All those flyover states that didn't even bother with the shelter in place ultimately were like, boy, we don't need to. We'll just come get you at your house if you leave it.
Dude, I brought this up last night, man. I think that, I'm choosing to believe this is Darwin taking out the trash for the science is bullshit crowd. Oh, the science is bullshit, huh? Well, here's something that could kill you if you think science is bullshit.
Oh, can you guys hear this shit?
Oh,
Is my mic
rain?
picking up any of this storm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's getting serious over here. I wouldn't be surprised if I lose internet.
A shelter in place.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already in a basement, so I'm set.
Yeah, I'm upstairs and in my bedroom, and we've got a tornado warning.
Oh shit.
And that sounds like fucking hail hitting my windows.
Oh, damn, yeah, there's a nice big band of red going right through Livonia Westland right now. Still there?
Yeah. I'm just like listening. I'm listening like I don't hear anything, and I'm right in the middle of Westland. Like I totally hear your shit going on over on your end, but his basement's a lot better, a lot more soundproof than I thought, or it's already past us.
According to the radar, this shit's going to just go right. I am just in the right spot where everything is going to miss me. Cool. So we're talking about.
I was reading Nate. We're talking about coronavirus. I was reading a story on Fox News today that said Fauci says world may never return back to normal after coronavirus outbreak.
Oh yeah, he said
and
that.
I thought that was interesting because usually Fox News is not the one to be reporting on the types of stories that are more alarmist when it comes to coronavirus. Right? They've been downplaying it for the most part. And when I actually read through the story and read the quote they're pulling from for their headline, he says, this is his actual quote, when we get back to normal, we will go back to the point where we can function as a society. If you want to get back to pre-coronavirus, that might not ever happen in the sense that the threat is there.
Yeah, and then I believe there's the rest of that
quote is reasonable and valid.
And I think because I saw that yesterday, I think he then qualified it to as like if there's treatment, obviously we go back to how it was before they showed up.
Right, but I think he's talking more broad than just about coronavirus. Just the idea of a threat that we could get a vaccine for coronavirus, but then another virus strikes us in the same way. So what he's saying there is that the economy will get back to normal, life will go back to seeming like it's normal, but there's going to be little things that we still think about. This is going to have a lasting effect about us thinking about what we're touching, who we're exposing ourselves to. So, but to take that if MSNBC took that quote and turned it into Fauci says the world may never return back to normal, I wouldn't blink. But Fox News reporting this, I was like, wow, why are they going for the sensationalist headline on this?
Because they're Fox News. That's what they do.
Right, but this has not been something that they've been sensationalizing, the coronavirus, if you've been following their coverage of it. This is very atypical for a Fox News headline about coronavirus.
It's atypical of probably over a month ago, but
no, I'm not talking.
I've had them on every day at dinner, man. They've been pretty.
Fox?
Yeah, because they're the only one that lets the thing play the whole way through. They've actually. They canned the hoax shit. It's as soon as people started dying, and they canned all that shit real quick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They canned the hoax shit, but they still backed the president on his Easter play. Okay,
but again, I'm not surprised. Fox News does this. I don't know. They take the sensation. They take the sensational headline and they. I'm not surprised at this because they didn't include the whole thing, because I watched him say this live. And he was saying, yeah, we wouldn't go back to normal, and then all of the qualifiers that were left out. So I guess you say the way you're more shocked at the content of the headline, and I'm not so much shocked as the content at the headline because of how they report, because it's Fox News and they did what Fox News does. They left a whole bunch of shit out.
Right. But I don't know. This seems like a real shift to me. To go from downplaying, like they've been reporting on it. They've been, they're covering all the press conferences. They're reporting on all the same shit that everyone else is reporting about coronavirus, but they continually go for the less what's the word that I'm looking for? That's stirring up commotion. The fuck.
The less inflammatory?
Yes, thank you.
Well, it's a well.
And they did the opposite on this. They took a statement and they tried to make it as crazy as possible.
Broken clocks work twice a day, right?
Unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
Unregimented.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with the fact that there's lawsuits that people are talking about filing against Fox News for their coverage.
It's a lawsuit, isn't it? Like one guy in Washington State wants to sue them for endangering public health.
That was the first one. So let's see. So it's not a lawsuit. It was a consumer protection complaint from the Washington League for Increased Transparency and Ethics, which names Murdoch, Fox News, AT&T, and Comcast and other related entities as defendants, seeking nominal damage.
Good luck.
Suit claims the defendants acted in bad faith to willfully and maliciously disseminate false information, denying and minimizing the danger posed by the spread of the novel coronavirus.
Okay, you have to prove everything you just said. Good luck. Since you're the one bringing the lawsuit, you have to prove everything that you just levied against them.
What was everything? It was just the one thing that they acted in bad faith.
No, read it all again.
Yeah, it's one thing.
Read it again.
Acted in bad faith to willful. I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Defendants acted in bad faith to willfully and maliciously disseminate false information, denying and minimizing the danger posed by the spread of the novel coronavirus.
Dude, there's like 4 things in there.
What are the other
There's
three,
acting
then?
in bad faith. There's willfully doing it. There's willfully disseminating it.
No, willfully and maliciously disseminating false information is acting in bad faith. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but the way the legal system works, that's 2 things. You have
What do
2
you mean?
things in there.
No, you don't. I don't think so. It all falls under the category of lying. There's not multiple charges there.
Then why not just say misled the public? That's one thing. I'm saying
Okay, so you're questioning the language in this statement?
Yes, because if it's going to court, that's the lawyer is going to dissect the
sounds
language.
like proper legalese.
But I'm saying the lawyer's going to go, okay, cool. You instead of saying one thing, you now have given me 4 things to go ahead and attack here.
No, there's not 4 things there. The burden of proof would be proving that they acted knowing that they were lying.
Yeah, and good luck with that.
And that's what makes a case like this nearly impossible to prosecute.
Yeah.
To actually prove that somebody was lying, unless you have documents where they're saying one thing and reporting something else, then you don't have anything.
Yeah, this lawsuit just looks good in the newspaper. It looks good on the news. But because, too, you can also, something like this, you can bring in freedom of the press. You can bring in freedom of speech. You can bring in what we're talking about before the show. But you can bring in okay, cool. If we're going to do this with one news outlet, then that everyone has to be ready. Then if we're doing this, no news outlet can ever make a mistake ever again. If we let this lawsuit go through, and you know what I'm saying?
What would stop their lawyer?
But there's a point
what would stop their lawyer from just walking in and going, "We're reporting what Donald Trump said. So why is it our fault if his information was wrong and we were just passing along the information he passed to us at the briefing?"
Now, also,
that's the biggest problem behind this. Yes, because everything that they're reporting on, they are getting from their White House briefings and the president's Twitter feed.
So, I mean, to me right there, that's willfully and maliciously. Well, no, whether they were or not, all they got to do is go, we're just passing along and reporting what the president said. If he was willfully putting bad information out there, maybe you should sue him. Oh, that's right, you can't. So enjoy it.
And if you prosecute one person for getting their information from the White House press briefing, now we throw into to what end? Then that means no one can use it. If one person can't use it, that means no one can.
No. Hold up. Nobody's being prosecuted for reporting on a press briefing, and that wouldn't be the charge. If this went to trial and the jurors found that all they were doing was reporting on the president's Twitter feed and press briefings, then there would be no charges.
I mean, unless there's a memo that clearly, unless there's a smoking gun memo somewhere, have fun with this lawsuit because it's all subjective.
Yeah, it's about as easy to prove as like a slander suit. Unless you got
a fucking video and a phone call of Rupert Murdoch going, this is some bullshit, and you're gonna report this is bullshit. This will just be a dog chasing its tail.
Well, there is a sliding definition for success when it comes to a lawsuit, and it doesn't always mean a guilty verdict. Lawsuits can be used to curb behavior even when they don't go to court, even when they end up exonerating the person accused. So if this organization and others decide to get in on this, then it will have an effect. You might not have a guilty verdict for Fox, but if it means that they're spending more money, more lawyers tying up courts over these issues, it may change the way that they choose to report certain things.
Nope.
Because it's not
Fox. They'll lean
not
on the Constitution.
It's not. No.
They'll lean on freedom of press.
It's a business. What's so special about Fox? Fox is a business, all right? Now, when a business looks to make a decision and they look at the possibility of legal exposure, that's going to be a factor.
If they can make themselves constitutional martyrs, the people who watch that network will eat that shit up.
No, okay. If it went to court, then yes, they would be forced to play that card. But being a business, they're going to avoid getting their asses in court in the first place. So lawsuits against news organizations and the way that they report them, yeah, like we said, hard to prove, almost impossible to get a guilty verdict on something like that.
But
just like the patent trolls that went after all the podcasters, none of those ended up being viable cases that went to court and podcasters were found guilty and had to pay out. It was all settlements.
I could still see
everyone
Fox
decided,
News.
well, I don't want to fight. I'm going to either change my business model, get out of podcasting, or just pay these guys off because I can't just dump money into lawyers and tie up, all my free time going to court over this issue. And it's the same thing with businesses.
I could still see Fox turning this around and turning it and shifting the dynamic.
They would, yes.
These
but
people
that has nothing to
disagree
do
with
with
us.
the statement that I'm making that they are going to that.
But it does. They will turn it into a revenue generating thing. That's what I'm saying.
They are a business like no other, and that is not going to be their first option. Their first option is, how can we report a headline that people will click on and share that will not get us sued? They're not going to push that button and go, oh, bring it on. We relish the lawsuits. Now, once they get in a situation, yes, they will play the victim card or the hero card standing up for American rights. But being a business, they're not going to entice people to bring more lawsuits against them.
It's true. It's all about the commerce. Keep it rolling. And right now, there is no... If you are in entertainment right now or in the media and you're making money right now, congratulations. You still have advertisers. So now I hear you. Right now, they are not upsetting any of that revenue any of the revenue that's left rolling in, advertising wise. They're not upsetting that apple cart. Not while the economy's on pause.
I've been hearing rumblings about a few different things about this whole situation with Cuomo in New York. Do you think this is do you think the rumblings I hear is basically from buyer's regret with a lot of people in the Democratic Party? Now that we've had kind of this pause put on the primaries, they've had a chance to look back and they're like, ugh, really? Biden? Can we get someone else in here at the last minute? And I've heard a few people on different political shows say, highly doubtful this year he's going to try to do anything, but 2024 he can make a run for president. I mean, is this going to be one of these things like where he makes his bones off of this shit nationally?
Yeah, no, but it's It didn't translate for Rudy. If you remember, in what was it 2004, he tried to run for president, tried to ride his 9/11 heat into the election.
Well, running against a incumbent wartime president in the same party, that's not exactly the most intelligent thing he could have done. I mean, did he really think he's going to primary Bush out of there?
Hey, at the time, he was America's mayor. Probably had everyone telling him a whole bunch of shit. But, I mean, Cuomo has said this year he ain't running. And I've watched him say it. But we all know sometimes in politics that usually means, yeah, he's announcing tomorrow.
I mean, another thing to think about, the two people at the top of the list, ain't exactly spring chickens. Who steps in if both of them get sick?
Whitmer, again, I didn't know she was the co-chair of Biden's campaign, by the way. She keeps coming up as, at least around here, that she might be his running mate.
All right, and if he gets sick,
she's
I mean,
the president.
like really sick, before he's elected, does and they're like, okay, well, he can't move forward with this campaign. You know, he's a cunt hair away from his deathbed. Does she move up? Because she was his vice president.
How does that work?
That's what I'm saying.
Does Dr. Joe step in? I mean, in Congress, it seems if you die, your wife takes over. Would that work with Biden? If before you're elected?
You know, I mean, what? They announced a few days ago, Boris Johnson admitted to the hospital. Now his ass has been in the ICU for the last 2 days. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to talk in those guarded, the guarded language they use when they don't really want to tell you how bad the situation is.
They put him on a ventilator, too. But I'd read before the show he's stable now, but he's still in the ICU. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a thought. And, I mean, it seems like New York is, if you're going to be a politician who's going to try to introduce yourself to the national stage, what better fucking place to do it than New York or California, I guess. And he's got to be prepared. People are going to ask him about those nipple rings. We've all seen them. It looks like he's got a couple barbells. So like his nipples sucked. And what's the big deal? All right. Last time I checked, that wasn't a crime. That's not even. Does that even register on a kink meter? Isn't it just like basic foreplay at this point?
Oh, it was. The internet lost his mind for a day last week about Cuomo's nipples because we're all locked in the house now and we're bored, and we saw something compelling.
Well, like I said, it was just a thought that popped in my head because I've heard some rumblings and from people who seem to have a case of buyer's regret as far as what the Democratic Party's offering up, or are like, we're going to get our asses kicked. We need somebody else. So,
well, that $1 billion that Jack Dorsey's throwing up to fight coronavirus, I'd actually like to see him divide that in half. Throw half a bill at coronavirus and half a bill at finding competent leadership for our country.
Now, the $1 billion, is he just writing the check to COVID-19, or who is he giving it to?
Yes, he makes it out to.
He's got a checkbook. Coronavirus.
He has to put the full name. Yeah. He has to put novel coronavirus
yes.
COVID-19 on the check. No, he's going to start an organization and fund it with $1 billion. And that organization would give out grants to people researching to fight coronavirus.
So he's cleaning up some of his money. I gotcha.
Cleaning it up.
Starting an organization. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
What is he going to get back from that?
Don't nonprofits end up becoming slush funds?
Is this a money?
Is it a nonprofit?
How is this a money-making scheme?
Well, I'm saying, is it a nonprofit? Because don't a lot of those end up becoming slush funds for things? For non-ethical people?
Yes. Okay. I mean,
I thought maybe he was giving it to like an organization that already existed.
What would that be? I mean,
Johns Hopkins. Hey, here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion, John Hopkins.
Right. So he's giving $1 billion to organizations that already exist or may exist in the near future. He's doing it through way of a company that will be tasked with finding out who the best people to give this money are.
Gotcha. Jack Dorsey doesn't have time to sit down and figure it out.
Well, he doesn't know. Why would he know?
Yeah, he's hiring a
Pay
team.
people to know this shit.
He knows Twitter. He tell you all about Twitter.
And he also says that he's going to be putting all the money that's going in and out of this organization is all going to go into a Google spreadsheet that will be publicly available for anyone.
Ooh, cross promotion.
For Google?
I say because Google needs the help, right? Google needs a shout out. But I think it's more just because it's going to be like just the ultimate universally available Google Doc. 7 billion of us can look at it if we so choose.
Well, there's plenty of those. It's just most of us don't care to look at the documents that are publicly viewable.
I like his style that he's going to be transparent about it.
Well, this is in response to some criticism that he's received in the past about not being transparent about his charitable giving.
People like me going, "What are you really doing with the money, Jack?"
Right.
Damn.
So,
is that thunder?
Listen. Yeah, you could hear that.
Yeah.
So, I think Jack Dorsey is worth roughly like $4 billion, and this is 1/4 of his total wealth. It's like really fucking huge, right? We've seen a lot of millionaires and billionaires start throwing around money lately, and no one's even come close to this kind of money, and especially not when it's a 1/4 of your total wealth. I mean, I get it. Like, what was he really going to do with that extra billion anyway?
Well,
that billionaires, they don't do anything really big. They just kind of, we'll just spread this around. Look, I spread this money around here and make some money, and I spread a little bit around here and make some money.
Well, and he's probably
do
going to get
something fucking big. You've got world-changing sums of money at your fingertips.
And he'll probably get some of it back
something that
too.
could actually change the world.
The way taxes are set up too, he'll get some of it back. He'll be, but you're right though.
What?
Dude,
no, he's setting up an organization. He's not donating it. I don't know. Like, will he get a tax break? Yes, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Should he get a tax break for donating $1 billion? Abso-fucking-lutely. So what's I'm
not saying it's not good. I'm just saying I can't.
It's just
it's in my DNA to shit on everything.
Away
I
a
realize
quarter of
this.
his wealth and then not have somebody say shit to him about it.
Well, it's just because I know how shit's set up. He'll get some of it back, but it does. You didn't let me finish. It is somebody putting his money where his mouth is. It's not his fault the way the tax system's set up that he'll get some of it back. But this is somebody.
I don't even think it's a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
System is set up to promote good charitable giving.
But this is someone taking one of every $4 he has and he's giving it away for research on this. I'm not doing that. So props to this guy. Figure he owes it to all of us for inventing Twitter anyway. At least he can do.
Well,
is
he
help
did
cure
make all
Corona.
that money. He made most of that money off of our information. So.
Oh yeah, damn right. Now you really owe us. Hey, where's Zuckerberg been in all this? That is a name we have not said in like 4 weeks of doing this show every day. Where the hell's that guy been? What's he doing?
Is that someone we usually talk about?
No, it's all the big checkbooks have been showing up during all this. Where's his been? Tim Cook.
Bill Gates. He's with Bill Gates in their war room, planning on how.
Well, no, Gates is
to
doing shit.
further their. Yes, he is.
No, I'm saying Gates.
He's going out talking about. We need to find
No, that's what I'm saying. Gates has been doing shit.
Antivirus for this.
Gates has been doing shit. Tim Cook is making masks. Jack Dorsey's giving $1 billion. Where's Zucks in all this?
You've seen
Really?
Starship Troopers. Yeah, that's what he's doing in all this. He's yawning because he's just like, I'm just counting my money. He's got enough money. He probably owns an island he's sitting on waiting this thing out.
What's true?
Like
Yeah,
that one fucking soccer player.
Facebook usage is through the roof. You're probably right. He's building more houses at the moment, stacking more cash. It's his stock.
You
just
know, a lot
soars.
of the numbers that I saw, there weren't really huge spikes in social media.
Really?
Yeah,
There's been a huge spike in my social media use.
sure.
But is it all streaming?
Is it all streaming?
We've
all streaming?
Digital activity, I'm sure, has gone up in the last month. Where has it gone
Internet
up?
use has gone up. Yes, absolutely.
Just use of the internet in general, or is it just
I don't think it's social media that's adding to it. Well, think about it. It's on our phone, right? So whether we're on our phone at home or on our phone at work, does it really make a fucking difference?
It's all bandwidth. It's all being used. It's true. Yeah, I have 4 things in front of me that are online right now. And I'm by myself.
Unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
Unregimented.
A little bit of breaking news. This is via Rolling Stone. They just posted that John Prine dead at 73 due to complications of coronavirus.
Man.
Damn it. I heard that he was getting better, too.
He was one of the first people that contracted it, as far as people that you heard of. Like he was early. He was like Tom Hanks early.
Really? I didn't hear about it until last week.
Or maybe it was...
He got buried in all of it.
Or I think it was his... No, wait. It was his wife. And then I think his wife got it around the time Hanks got it. And then I think... You're right. And then he got it later, I think.
Yeah, it says his wife and manager Fiona announced on the 17th of March that she had tested positive after they had returned from a European tour.
Wow, it's really going for the songwriters, isn't it?
Said it's an intensive care
coronavirus
for
don't give a fuck
days.
About your fucking dancers and your rappers and your reality stars. It's like
singer-songwriters.
Fucking singing songwriters. Those guys can fucking eat a dick.
Do we know where James Taylor
gunning
is?
For you.
James Taylor, just stay home, please.
Well, I mean, when I heard
watch out, Elliott Smith. Oh wait.
Yeah, didn't he already pull an Artie Lang and fall onto a knife on his own into his own chest?
Jesus.
I'm being polite. I said he fell on it.
Oh, Elliott Smith. Oh yeah, that was a while. That was 20 years ago.
But no, when I heard Bill Withers died, I was like, okay, but wait a minute, Bill Withers is gotta be like really up there. And then 81, I'm like, okay, all right, like 81. They're like, yeah, but
you got it. Like
complications due to a previous heart attack a few years ago. I'm like, okay, I'll buy that.
The real, yeah. Like Bill Withers, and for that matter, I mean, how old is John Prine?
He was 73.
No, I thought he was older than that. Really?
No, he just looked 95.
Yeah,
I think he was because he kind of got lumped in with like Chris Christopherson.
Well,
and people like that. I think he was on the younger side of that crew, but everyone just assumed he was older, like they were.
And because he didn't have the same type of, number one hits notoriety, then everyone just assumed that he's just been around forever.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys, right? The musician's musician. Doesn't have the radio hits, but everybody cites him as an influence. And they do, because he is.
Can I say, he's in this weird club with Jimmy Page, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe you do, maybe...
But elaborate.
He looks, as he aged, he looked like he turned Asian. Exactly. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What is that? Like some guy's age?
I think it's
all around their eyes.
Yeah, I think it's something with their eyelids. Like, because Jimmy Page now looks like an old Asian man. It's like, dude, you're a fucking white guy from England.
And probably the alcohol. It just makes him puffy.
And then, there's a picture right here of John Prine, his 2018 album. That looks like it's fucking like George Takei's cousin on the front of it.
Don Ho.
Yeah, like...
Oh my, George Takei.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far the people that coronavirus musicians wise has taken out that I for sure like was confirmed that it was that, like I said, 81 previous heart attack in the previous couple of years.
Yeah, we probably would have been seeing this headline regardless of coronavirus, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Bill Withers.
It might have got delayed a couple months, but that's it.
Well, that's kind of what I've been saying with anybody with this. When you see 80 anything, are there really any truly healthy 80-something-year-olds?
Yeah, and it's I don't know. Like, what do you do with that, though, right? It's not sensationalist reporting, right? Because it's accurate. Mm-hmm. It was a factor. Jesus Christ, that was really close.
Damn.
Dude.
It sounded like it was like up
That was like,
over my shoulder.
there was no delay between the lightning and the thunder.
Damn, that shit was like in your backyard. Damn.
Should we wrap up so Eric can take
So I can
shelter in his
change my
basement?
underwear? Man. I think it's calmed down. It's really weird because like all the rain was gone. It had just kind of stopped. I might be in the eye of the fucking tornado right now because it's really calm right now.
It's all shifted. It's all fucking up right now. The big red part of the radar is all over Monroe, like south and southwest Wayne County, but there's then a big ugly thing coming from Jackson and Ann Arbor. So you guys can have fun with that. Like it looks like it's all gonna go south to me. So I'm cool.
There is another thunderclap. That was at least 6 to 7 miles away. So I'm good.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we were talking about old people were gonna die anyway. Wasn't that kind of where we were going?
Damn it, old people die. That's what they do.
Well, no,
Blue was old.
I hear what you're talking about. I hear what you're talking about is like, reporting on people who are, near that point anyway. But it is still accurate reporting when it comes to, fatalities from COVID-19. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like there was a headline that I saw from, what was this? This was from NBC News, and it's Illinois man whose suspected girlfriend had COVID-19 fatally shoots her and himself. And by the way, they both tested negative. So this is a sensationalist piece. This would not even be reported on. This would not be covered on NBC News, period, if it didn't have some loose connection to COVID-19. Yeah. And that's all this really is. This is the unfortunate case of somebody with mental problems who couldn't just kill themselves. They had to take out a loved one as well. Something that happens, I'm sure, on a daily basis and doesn't get reported on. But this one gets reported on because he thought it was COVID-19.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
But it's fucked. It's just like when we get these like random wackos like that they're just fucking murderers, but because they say something Christian or because they said something about supporting a Democrat or supporting a Republican or because they said that they had ties to Al Qaeda, we report on it like that is the fact. And we're like, this guy's just crazy, right? He has no ties to Al Qaeda. Trump didn't tell him to shoot anybody. God didn't talk to him personally. And COVID-19 has nothing to fucking do with this guy shooting himself and his girlfriend. You're reporting on the mental. You're like reporting the thoughts of a crazy person is what you're doing.
He's just nutty, and this is the thing he chose to obsess on that made him snap.
Right. And why wouldn't it be? Of course, every nutty person right now is talking about how COVID-19 is fucking caused by 5G and sent by the Chinese and is meant to wipe out the weak in the population because that's all anybody's talking about. And crazy people are just crazy. They're not creative.
Some can be, but I mean, they got to get real crazy. Like football helmet filled with cottage cheese crazy.
Well, there's some pioneers, like I'm sure the son of Sam talking to it, having a dog talk to you.
Oh yeah,
that was probably groundbreaking at the time. Now it's just old hat. It's a trope.
Yeah. Now you get parodied in Joe Dirt.
So that headline struck me as not only false but unnecessary and really just bad reporting in general, because did you run out of things to report about COVID-19? Like, it's actually killing people still. You realize this, right?
Yeah,
direct connection
without
this
guns.
Disease. This person gets it. and now they're fucking dead. So why the fuck are you reporting on this shit? Look, if NBC News reported on domestic murder-suicide cases and this was part of the thing, like, hey, we're not talking about it enough, I'd be all for this headline. You know, if you can help further your cause by jumping on a bandwagon, well, in this case, it could just be the ends justifying the means in an actual positive way. But this isn't the case. NBC News doesn't have an agenda about exposing the rampant domestic abuse that's happening in this country or the lack of proper care for people who suffer from mental diseases. They're not reporting on this because of any of those are the real issues in this story. Domestic abuse and mental illness. Two huge things that kill people on a daily fucking basis in this country. And they choose this story because the guy said COVID-19. Fucking idiots.
Well, it's led them to pivot to, I've noticed a lot of stories this week since it's like, it's for a lot of us, it's like the fourth week we're locked in our house. It's the third one. The mental health stories have started though now. Your mental health during all of this. So.
Right, but that's the positive side of this. We don't talk about it enough, and now we have that because we're all experiencing it. We get to have a conversation, and maybe this will go somewhere, maybe it won't. We get to have a real conversation about healthcare. We get to have a conversation about what our society and technology is doing to our personal interactions, whether it's positive or negative. Mm-hmm. We can talk about the. Well,
I guess I was about just going more for just the yin and the yang.
The increase of people being isolated, whether it's by choice or not. I guess that's just more talking about are choosing to remain.
The news will do the yin and the yang with something. They'll show you the good side and then the dark side of it because that's just what they fucking do. So I guess that's for it. They got to fill the news cycle, right? So they found the dark side of this. Someone went all fucking shining on somebody.
There's already a dark side to it, though. That's what I'm saying.
I get that.
Completely unnecessary to find a sensationalist and bleak story about a disease that's wiping out hundreds of thousands of people across the fucking world.
But it's the mental health dark side, Aaron. That's what they wanted to show us. Someone went all.
No, they didn't.
Someone went all shining. All right, it's possible.
Yeah.
All right. So halfway there. Week 4, I believe tomorrow's show will probably be about how we're shut down to at least May 1st, which I'm fully expecting. I keep telling everyone, take spring 2020 and cross it off of your calendar. We're not getting spring. All right. And spring goes from March 21st to June 21st. So keep that in mind, everybody. We get no spring in 2020. We're all going to be out of season.
Just buy stock in pocket pussies and vibrators.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, as I said, it's, oh my God. Which, by the way, too, I had this thought real quick before we end the show. The re-election, once we're all let back out of the house again, the re-election is going to be launched, right? Keep America, or make America great again is going to be like times fucking 5,000. I mean, that's going to be amped up, right? Because of, we're getting back to normal and all the quote unquote normal and all this. It's going to be probably, too, we're going to be let out right around July 4th. It's going to be like, should we just get Bill Pullman to make the speech for us? It was broadcasted live. But anyway, I drink whiskey when we do this. Went off on a tangent. It's time to end the show, everybody. So we are at Unregimented on Instagram and Unregimented Pod on Twitter. You can email us on regimented@christophermedia.net. At christophermedia.net, there is a PayPal button, which if you'd like to donate, be like Dawn. Donate. If you don't want to donate, we understand. It's crazy times right now. There's an Amazon banner. Do you guys know is Amazon started? Can you get regular things from Amazon yet? Like, I know last couple weeks you tried to order something and it would just tell you a static date in April. Aaron, have you tried it all?
No.
Yeah, not even. But if you're on Amazon and you're trying, click through the banner, help us out. Well, we get something and you don't have to spend anything extra. We are on Spreaker.com, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. I'm sure it's at Spotify, but I'll say it again because it's a big source of listeners. ChristopherMedia.net. Anywhere you get a podcast is where we are at. Welcome, new listeners. Thank you, old listeners, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Later, guys.
Unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.